Welcome back to my channel. Today, we explore the value of specific coins, the top 3 Washington silver quarter dollar coins value in today's market. So, let's get started. First up, the 1991 Washington silver quarter with a D mint mark in extra fine condition. One of the most interesting coins in the modern quarter series. So, let's dive into its value in today's market. The 1991 Washington quarter is part of the Standard series, but here's the twist. It's silver. That's right, this quarter has a unique place in US coinage because it was minted with a special silver composition for certain collectors' sets during the early 1990s. So, why is this coin special and what's it worth today? First things first. While most quarters today are made of a copper-nickel alloy, the 1991 silver quarter was part of the US Mint's 90% silver offerings, mostly available in proof sets. It's not the regular circulation quarter, and this silver content makes it more valuable right off the bat. But the true value of this coin also depends on its condition. Now, let's talk about what extra fine means. If a coin is in extra fine condition, it means it shows signs of wear but still has sharp details. The image of Washington will be clear, with minimal wear on the hair and the details of his coat. The reverse side will also show crisp lettering and design, though you may see some slight smoothing on high points due to circulation. So what's the value of a 1991 Washington silver quarter in extra fine condition today? In the current market, a coin like this could be worth around $5 to $8. Now, I know that might sound surprising considering it's silver, but the value also depends on factors like collector demand, and the fact that this coin wasn't produced in large quantities for circulation. The 1991 Washington silver quarter is often sold at a premium over its face value because of its silver content, but in extra fine condition, it doesn't usually break the bank. Still, it's worth far more than a standard quarter, which is usually worth just 25 cents. If you happen to have one in mint condition, its value can climb higher. Now, if this coin were to be in proof condition, or even uncirculated, its value could go up significant, upwards of $15, $20 or more. But if your coin is just in extra fine condition, don't worry, any still holds value because of that silver content and the fact it's part of a limited mintage. Remember, the grading of the coin can play a huge role in its final value. If you ever get your 1991 silver quarter graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, it might push the price even higher, depending on the grade. So, if you're holding onto a 1991 Washington silver quarter in extra fine condition, you've got a coin that's definitely worth more than face value. Whether you're holding onto it as part of a collection or thinking of selling, it's a good idea to keep an eye on the market for any changes in demand. Next up, the 1982 Washington silver quarter with a D mint mark, but with a black color shade condition. This one's a bit unique, so let's dive right into its value and why it might be more valuable than you think. The 1982 Washington quarter is part of the regular series of quarters minted by the US Mint, but what makes this one stand out is its silver content. The 1982 quarter is part of the Bicentennial series, and while most regular issue quarters were minted with a copper-nickel composition, this silver version was produced specifically for proof sets. So yes, it has 90% silver in it, which is part of the reason why this coin holds more value than a standard quarter. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Black color shade condition. What exactly does that mean? A quarter with a black color shade might have developed discoloration due to tarnishing or environmental factors, and it could have a unique appearance, like a darkened surface or toning. While this might sound like a coin in poor condition, that's not always the case. Blackened or toned coins particularly silver ones, can sometimes carry a unique value due to their aesthetic appeal. Collectors who specialize in toned coins sometimes seek out these oddly colored coins for their interesting and rare looks. The black color shade, in many cases, doesn't necessarily detract from the coin's value, but it depends on how much of the design is still visible and how much time is developed. So, what's the value of a 1982 Washington silver quarter with a D mint mark and a black color shade in today's market? In general, the coin is valued primarily for its silver content. At current silver prices, a 1982 silver quarter is worth around $3 to $5 based on the metal itself. However, if the black color shade is noticeable but not too severe, the coin might attract collectors who are into toned or unique coins. This could potentially bump up the value to $7 to $10 or more, especially if the toning adds to the coin's character and doesn't obscure too much of the design. However, it's important to note that in extreme cases, if the tarnishing is too heavy and the coin is in poor condition, the value may drop closer to the base silver price or even lower if collectors aren't interested in the look of the coin. If the coin were in better condition and, say, uncirculated or with a more natural patina, it could fetch significantly more, anywhere from $20 to $40 if it's in a professional grade condition. But when the coin has a distinctive black shade due to tarnish, it might appeal more to collectors who enjoy the aesthetic of toned silver coins. So, let's break it down. A 1982 Washington silver quarter with a D mint mark in black collar shade condition typically has a value in the range of $3 to $10, depending on how the toning affects the design and how much collectors are willing to pay for that unique look. It's definitely more valuable than a regular quarter, but the coin's condition, toning, and overall appearance will play a big role in determining its exact worth. And if you're thinking about selling or trading your black-toned 1982 quarter, it might be worth getting it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. A proper grade can increase the coin's value, and the right buyer may be willing to pay more for it based on its unique appearance and grade. Next up, the 1998 Washington silver quarter with a P mint mark in extra fine condition. Use. Is it valuable in today's market? Let's dive into the details and find out. The 1998 Washington quarter is part of the regular circulating series, but the one we're focusing on today is a silver version, minted with 90% silver content, which makes it more valuable than a standard quarter. But here's the key question. What makes this coin particularly special, and how does its condition impact its value? First, a quick refresher. Most quarters you see today are made from a copper-nickel alloy, but special silver quarters were issued in 1998 as part of the U.S. Mint's 90% silver coin offerings for proof sets. These silver quarters aren't just any quarters. They're a bit rarer than regular circulation coins, and that's where their value comes into play. This 1998 quarter has a P mint mark, meaning it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. While many coins from this year were minted in Philadelphia, the silver version is still relatively uncommon, especially in extra fine condition. Now, let's talk about what extra fine condition means. When a coin is classified as extra fine, it shows light signs of wear, but its features are still very clear and sharp. The design of George Washington on the obverse is still well defined with minimal smoothing, and the reverse, the eagle, and the inscription still shows crisp details with only slight wear on the highest points. With a coin in extra fine condition, collectors expect the coin to have nice luster and to retain most of the original details, although it may show light scratches or minor wear, which is typical for coins that have been handled. So, what is the value of a 1998 Washington silver quarter with a PU mint mark in extra fine condition today? In the current market, a coin like this typically ranges from $3 to $5, primarily due to its silver content. That's a pretty solid jump over the coin's face value of 25 cents, right? Since it's made of 90% silver, the melt value alone gives it a base price of around $3 to $4, depending on the current silver market price. But the extra fine condition means this quarter can fetch a bit more than just the silver price. Of course, if silver prices rise, so does the value of the coin. But, like I said, the coin's condition will also impact its value. If it were in mint state or uncirculated condition, it could be worth more, possibly $8 to $10 or even higher. A 1998 silver quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition might fetch upwards of $10 or more, depending on the demand and current market trends. But extra fine? Still valuable, just not at the high end of the scale. Even though it's a relatively modern coin, the 1998 Washington silver quarter with a P mint mark is a great find for any collector, especially if it's in extra fine condition. The combination of silver content and its unique mintage makes it a nice addition to any collection. If you have one of these coins in extra fine condition, you might want to consider getting it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. A higher grade can significantly boost the value, especially if you have a well-preserved example of this silver quarter. So, there you have it, the 1998 Washington silver quarter with the P mint mark in extra fine condition. It may not be worth hundreds of dollars, but it's still a valuable coin, especially with the silver content and its relatively rare status. If you have one of these in your collection, you're definitely holding on to a piece of USA's coin history. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more coin collecting content. See you, and next time, happy collecting.